I'm Sunanda from Department of Chemistry, Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering. I'll be talking on sewage treatment. Let us first know what is sewage. The sewage, it is the solid and liquid waste carried off in drains. Treating the sewage is a big priority as there are billions of people on the earth. We can classify the sewage broadly into two types, the domestic and the industrial sewage. The sewage, it includes organic, inorganic, and biological materials. Domestic sewage, it mainly consists of human waste, urine, detergents, food waste, pathogenic bacteria, etc. And the industrial sewage is collected away from the industries, and it is also called as the effluent. It mainly consists of fertilizers, acids, oil, toxic chemicals, effluents from leather tanneries, chemical plants, textile industries, oil refineries, pharmaceutical industries, etc. This sewage, it can be treated in different stages to make it suitable for domestic usage again. Then we shall now study these stages that are involved in the sewage treatment. It involves three steps. The first one is called the primary treatment. It is also called as the physical and chemical method. And the second one is the secondary treatment. It is carried out by the biological method, and it's also called as the activated sludge process. And the next is the tertiary treatment. Now we shall study one by one in detail. The primary treatment. The primary treatment has four steps: the screening, the slit and the grit removal, oil and grease removal, and sedimentation. So first let us know what is screening. So after that is the water, the sewage, which consists of the suspended and the floating solid and the oil and grease, it all can be removed by the primary or the mechanical treatment. So the screening process is the first step, which is carried out by using the bar screens or the mesh screens to remove the floating impurities, suspended impurities, etc. And this technique, it removes the large suspended and the floating matter in the sewage. Then the next step is the slit and grit removal. The sewage is then passed through channels in a grit chamber very slowly. The slit and the grit particles such as sand, pebbles, broken glass, etc., which are being heavy, settles down at the bottom of the chamber. Then the next step is oil and grease removal. This oil and grease can be removed by using skimming tanks. The sewage water is kept in the skimming tank, and then the air is compressed by blowing through it. Oil and grease are lifted to the surface in the form of foam or bubbles, and then the foam can be skimmed off. And the next process is the sedimentation process. This is used to remove the fine suspended impurities. The particles which do not settle down by gravity can be coagulated by the addition of coagulants like alum, ferrous sulfate, etc. And the sediment particles are filtered off. The next step is the secondary treatment. So I've shown you the diagram how the secondary treatment is carried out, and this secondary treatment is also called the biological method, or it is called the activated sludge process. Now in this process, the process, we remove the biologically oxidizable impurities which are present in the sewage water. So we are going to pass the water from the primary treatment, and to it we add the activated sludge of the previous process, and then we send that into the send that for the secondary treatment. Here it is passed vigorously in order to bring about a good contact between the organic waste and bacteria. Under aerobic condition, the oxidation of the organic matter occurs. That is, the microorganisms oxidize the biological oxidizable impurities into carbon dioxide and water. The effluent, along with sludge, is then sent to a settling tank where the sludge settles down. And that sludge can be removed using membranes or by filtration, and a part of the sludge can be reused for purification of the next batch of sewage, and the rest can be used either as fertilizer or for landfilling purpose. And the water, it can be chlorinated to remove the bacteria, and this water after the secondary treatment can be used for irrigation purpose. And the next treatment is called the tertiary treatment. Now this tertiary treatment is necessary because after the primary and secondary treatment, the water sample still contains dissolved organic and inorganic compounds, heavy metal ions, phosphates, nitrogen, microorganisms like bacteria and algae, and the water sample is therefore subjected to tertiary treatment. Now here we have various steps. The sewage water is treated with lime for the removal of phosphate as insoluble calcium phosphate, or it can be treated with sulfide ions for the removal of heavy metal ions as insoluble sulfides. And the sewage water, it can be treated with activated charcoal to absorb the remaining organic compounds, or further it can be treated with alum to remove the colloidal impurities. Either you can use alum or ferrous sulfate to remove the colloidal impurities, that is the fine impurities. And further the water is passed through a degasifier to remove the dissolved gases such as carbon dioxide, H2S, ammonia, etc. And further the water, that is the sewage water, it has to be passed through a disinfection chamber to remove the harmful bacteria by passing chlorine gas through the water sample, or this can also be achieved by using UV light or the ozone through the water sample. Thus, the water after the treatment, it can be used.